Good evening from MV UK. It's me, Pete, bringing you the news tonight, and it's a different one. I'm taking it for the first time since this channel started. I'm taking you out of the UK and over to America for the first presidential press conference. It was on yesterday at the time of recording, so possibly tomorrow, a couple of days afterwards that I'll publish this. And it is exceptional. Right, this is Keir Starmer and you cronies in the cabinet. This is what you need to be coming out and saying after 100 hours. Let's watch it. I'll stop it. Just put in a couple of thoughts of mine and then we'll carry it on. Try and get through it as quick as we can. I'm not going to do the press questions, only the first one. And as you see the video unfold, you'll understand why. It's really good. Let's go.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are we? Good to see all of you. It's an honor to be here with all of you. A lot of familiar faces in the room, a lot of new faces. And President Trump is back, and the golden age of America has most definitely begun. The Senate has already confirmed 5 of President Trump's exceptional cabinet nominees: Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. It is imperative that the Senate continues to confirm the remainder of the president's well-qualified nominees as quickly as possible. As you have seen during the past week, President Trump is hard at work fulfilling the promises that he made to the American people on the campaign trail.
Okay, let's pause that there. Did you hear that? Fulfilling promises he made on the campaign trail. So, let's carry on.
Since taking the oath of office, President Trump has taken more than 300 executive actions, secured nearly $1 trillion in U.S. investments. $1 trillion in a week. Now let's cast ourselves back to Rachel Reeves's China visit, where she managed to secure epoxy 600 million. That's 600 million, not billion, and definitely not trillion. Let's carry on. Deported illegal alien rapists, gang members, and suspected terrorists from our homeland, and restored common sense to the federal government. I want to take a moment to go through some of these extraordinary actions. On day 1, President Trump declared a national emergency at our southern border to end
a national emergency on the southern border. Could you imagine it? Right, let's roll out on the White Cliffs. Get the guard down there. You get that's what we need.
4-year-long invasion of illegal aliens under the previous administration. Additionally, President Trump signed an executive order to end catch and release and finish construction of his effective border wall. By using every lever of his federal power, President Trump has sent a loud and clear message to the entire world. America will no longer tolerate illegal immigration.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? They won't tolerate it.
And this president expects that every nation on this planet will cooperate with the repatriation of their citizens. As proven by this weekend, when President Trump swiftly directed his team to issue harsh and effective sanctions and tariffs on the Colombian government, upon hearing they were denied a U.S. military aircraft full of their own citizens who were deported by this administration. Within hours, the Colombian government agreed to all of President Trump's demands, proving America is once again respected on the world stage. So,
respected on the world stage. He's got $1 trillion in. He's got the deportations going within a week. Within a week. We are 7 months into a Labour government and we are no closer to any gang smashing. I mean, just within a week, planes taking off. You know, listen, she outlines in a moment who's going.
To foreign nationals who are thinking about trying to illegally enter the United States, think again. Under this president, you will be detained and you will be deported. Every day, Americans are safer because of the violent criminals that President Trump's administration is removing from our communities. On January 23rd, ICE New York arrested a Turkish national for entry without inspection who is a known or suspected terrorist. On January 23rd, ICE San Francisco arrested a citizen of Mexico unlawfully present in the United States who has been convicted of continuous sexual abuse of a child aged 14 years or younger. ICE St. Paul has arrested a citizen of Honduras who was convicted of fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor. ICE Buffalo arrested a citizen of Ecuador who has been convicted of rape. ICE Boston arrested a citizen of the Dominican Republic who has a criminal conviction for second-degree murder. This criminal was convicted of murder for beating his pregnant wife to death in front of her 5-year-old son. And ICE St. Paul also arrested a citizen of Mexico who was convicted of possessing pornographic material of a minor on a work computer.
And what do we do with people here who are from other places, who commit heinous crimes across the land repeatedly, almost 3 decades? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's disgrace. It's disgusting. I mean, someone should actually sit Keir Starmer and Jess Phillips, she's atrocious. They should sit them down and actually say the words out loud and listen to what it sounds like. We are allowing grooming gangs to continue to operate, and actually, as of my video yesterday, my last video, let's say, we've established that there's a leaked document from the Home Office saying that they want to position the terminology two-tier policing or two-tier justice, or anyone wanting to discuss grooming gangs, that you will be put into an extremism narrative of the far right, which is totally wrong. That is wrong. You are allowed to discuss anything you want, because that's the point. We're talking about it. We're finding out what's right. That is definitely wrong. But how we deal with this. So the leaked document said, we're going to deal with this by calling you far right if you want to question it. Disgraceful. However, if you look over the pond to America, what we're seeing here being outlaid and delivered in front of our eyes right now, and please, in the comments, let me know if I'm wrong. We're seeing true leadership. We are seeing, and as you will understand in a moment, someone who's looking out for his own people. And that's what we need at the top of the tree here. A government that loves its country, because this government does not love Britain whatsoever. Let's continue.
These are the heinous individuals that this administration is removing from American communities every single day, and to the brave state and local law enforcement officers, CBP, and ICE agents who are helping in the facilitation of this deportation operation, President Trump has your back, and he is grateful for your hard work. On the economic front, President Trump took immediate action to lower costs for families who are suffering from 4 long years of the Biden administration's destructive and inflationary policies. President Trump ordered the heads of all executive departments and agencies to help deliver emergency price relief to the American people, untangle our economy from Biden's regulatory constraints, and end the reckless war on American energy.
The best way to improve business is having cheap energy. That's it. And we have it here. But we've got that radical Ed Miliband on his net zero school project, which is getting us nothing. And there was an announcement by the Chancellor today, which, to be honest with you, is laughable. Rachel from Accounts was mentioning something or other, bleating on about some growth that's never going to happen. So, yeah, but let's go.
President Trump also signed sweeping executive orders to end the weaponization of government and restore common sense to the federal bureaucracy. He directed all federal agencies to terminate illegal diversity, equity, and inclusion programs to help return America to a merit-based society.
Yes, America. Yes, I've been saying this for a while. is you've got to have, there's a book out there called the E-Myth, and it's a business book, and it just basically tells a story that if somebody loves to do something, they'll find a way of being employed doing it. That's the guy you want to employ. So if somebody loves doing accounts, you want to employ that guy to do your accounts, because they're just going to relish in it. And that's what DEI has actually quashed. It's just said, look, we need a quota of this and this, and unfortunately, if you're the best person for the job but you don't tick a box, you ain't getting the job. When did we become like this? When did this sneak up? Or anyway, it's finished in America.
President Trump also signed an executive order declaring it is now the policy of the federal government that there are only two sexes, male and female. Sanity has been restored. Before I take your questions,
common sense.
I would like to point out to all of you once again, have access to the most transparent and accessible president in American history. There has never been a president who communicates with the American people and the American press corps as openly and authentically as the 45th and now 47th president of the United States. This past week, President Trump has held multiple news conferences, gaggled on Air Force One multiple times, and sat down for a 2-part interview on Fox News, which aired last week. As Politico summed it up best, Trump is everywhere again. And that's because President Trump has a great story to tell about the legendary American revival that is well underway. And in keeping with this revolutionary media approach that President Trump deployed during the campaign, the Trump White House will speak to all media outlets and personalities, not just the legacy media who are seated in this room. Because according to recent polling from Gallup, Americans' trust in mass media has fallen to a record low. Millions of Americans, especially young people, have turned from traditional television outlets and newspapers to consume their news from podcasts, blogs, social media, and other independent outlets. It's essential to our team that we share President Trump's message everywhere and adapt this White House to the new media landscape in 2025. To do this, I am excited to announce the following changes will be made to this historic James S. Brady briefing room, where Mr. Brady's legacy will endure. This White House believes strongly in the First Amendment, so it's why our team will work diligently to restore the press passes of the 440 journalists whose passes were wrongly revoked by the previous administration. We're also opening up
that's telling. Over 400 press passes were revoked by the Biden-Harris presidency. Now that in itself that's the Democratic playbook. That is, if we don't like what you're reporting, if we don't like your narrative, we're going to close you down. We're going to close you down. That's it. You're banned. You're barred. You can't talk about us if you're not in the room. Listen to this though.
This briefing room to new media voices who produce news-related content and whose outlet is not already represented by one of the seats in this room. We welcome independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators to apply for credentials to cover this White House. And you can apply now on our new website, whitehouse.gov/new media. Starting today, this seat in the front of the room, which is usually occupied by the press secretary's staff, will be called the new media seat. My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex. So in light of these announcements, our first questions for today's briefing will go to these new media members, whose outlets, despite being some of the most viewed news websites in the country, have not been given seats in this room. And we will begin with our new media members, Mike Allen from Axios, Matt Boyle from Breitbart. Mike, why don't you go ahead?
So just before they ask the question, this is actually an iconic moment for the presidential press briefing room, because up to now it's only been the mainstream media, the media that don't show you half the stuff that you need to know and be informed with what's going on in politics or news or around the world. It's like someone said, I think it was possibly even Elon Musk. He said the only person who's got any kind of agency to deliver news are people who are at the area or the location the news is happening at. Anyone else is speculating. So the fact that they're breaking the curve in 2025 and they're bringing in new media. So this is going to be people like myself. If I was in America, I could apply and I could go there and I could ask a question as a part of new media. Or it could be podcasters, it could be influencers. This is really exciting because this is the ear to a wider market. A wider market, a wider audience, I beg your pardon. This is good. So let's hear what he's got to say and then we'll wrap it up there.
Thank you very much. Caroline, does the president see anything fishy about DeepSeek, either its origins or its cost? And could China's ability to make these models quicker, cheaper, affect our thinking about expanding generation data centers, chip manufacturing?
Sure. The president was asked about DeepSeek last night on Air Force One when he gaggled for, I think, the third or fourth time throughout the weekend with members of the traveling press corps. The president said that he believes that this is a wake-up call to the American AI industry. The last administration sat on their hands and allowed China to rapidly develop this AI program. And so President Trump believes in restoring American AI dominance. And that's why he took very strong executive action this past week to sign executive orders to roll back some of the onerous regulations on the AI industry. And President Trump has also proudly appointed the first AI and crypto czar at this White House, David Sachs, whom I spoke with yesterday.
Okay, so I'll stop it there. So there's a couple of things to unpack from that. Firstly, she mentioned that the Biden-Harris administration had sat on their hands and let China get ahead in the AI hemisphere. Now, this, I've got a feeling, is why Labour, Keir and Rachel from Accounts and No Brainer Rainer are in such a hurry to do business on AI because they know that America have fallen asleep at the wheel under sleepy Joe Biden. It's expected, isn't it? Of course he's going to fall asleep with AI as well. Anyway, more to the point. So you've got that, and she was also asked about the new app called DeepSeek, which is from China. So the West has launched and uses quite often ChatGPT. Well, the Chinese authority has just launched DeepSeek, same difference. However, there's a lot of, let's say, dubious information in there, let's say, because I had it on reports that if you ask DeepSeek what happened in Tiananmen Square in 1989, it says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help with that one." Really? I mean, it's not like a big calendar event in the Chinese history, is it? So very suspect indeed. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I mean, talk about what a start from the Trump administration. Great stuff. I only wish that Keir Starmer had a set of balls that he could enact the same thing. But yeah, I'm not going there. I'm professional. But anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. A little bit different on America. We'll be back on the saddle on the UK. So I'll see you on the next one. Take care until then. That's Pete from MV UK.